Mock draft
Yeah.
1.0 for
I'm
Matt.
excited. I'm excited.
Okay,
I haven't
cool.
prepared at all for this. I don't know what's coming.
Sweet.
You can set the stage. I don't know. Let me
Sure.
know how you want me to react to this.
React as you would like. React as you would like. I have two trades in here. Top 12. I did this based on what I think teams should do, not based on what I think will happen.
Okay, so each pick you put yourself in the GM seat.
Yeah,
Each
it's
pick.
like realistic enough, but it's like it's a lot of like, oh, I think they should do this.
Okay. I'm gonna
Not
hold
a
you
lot
to
of
that.
crazy.
I'm gonna hold you to that realistic thing because you've said that on here before and you've said some outrageous things.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're gonna have to. All right, perfect. Okay, I'll just get started. Bears, Caleb Williams, no questions there. He's the guy at 1 for sure. Ryan Poles basically confirmed it the other day. Commanders at 2. I'm going Jaden Daniels. A little bit because of the rhetoric around it, even though the betting odds did just switch to Drake May at 2, which frightens me a little.
But have you seen? I sent you those videos. Have you seen those videos of
Brian Kelly?
and Dan Quinn just being like
Yeah,
Jane Daniels was interviewing or something, I think, and then off to the side they cut to Dan Quinn and he was like,
yeah. So that's why I'm kind of just like that's similar with Caleb Williams. I just think, and I could certainly make the argument that he's the second best quarterback in this class. So there's your first two picks. Number 3, the New England Patriots. Here's where things get interesting. They're going to take, and I'll go into the mentality of this
JJ
after.
McCarthy.
They're going to take wide receiver Marvin Harrison at number 3. Okay, so they're going to take Marvin Harrison at 3, and then what they're going to do, maybe even before they make this pick, they're going to approach the Arizona Cardinals.
You're just going to steal my idea, you fucker.
I'm gonna use your idea because I love it so damn much. They're gonna approach the Arizona Cardinals and say, "Look, Arizona, we're taking the wide receiver. We're taking Marv. You're not going to get him. What is going to be on the board at your pick is going to be quarterbacks. You don't need a quarterback. You don't. So how about this? How about we trade you our 2024 second round pick, 34? How about we trade you our 2025 first round pick, unprotected? I don't even know if protections exist in football. And we'll trade you Kyle Duggar, who was unhappy with his transition tag. Jonathan Gannon, a defensive guy, maybe says, okay, we'll get this kind of haul of picks. We also get a proven defensive safety. They're very thin at that position. And also, they already have another first-round pick. I believe it's like in the 20s. So they still have a first-round pick. They get some more, and they get a player. I think that's a good enough trade to cause the Patriots to trade for the number 4 pick. The Patriots draft Drake May out of North Carolina. So they have Marvin Harrison and Drake May. No pick next year, no second-round pick. What are your thoughts on that? Now I used the Quinn school of draft strategy with that idea.
It is the Wagon school of draft strategy in the sense of just get the best guys. I should my name should be somewhere on the note of being the idea of trading up this draft. I love that. First off, I'm in on Drake May totally because I heard someone say that like in any other draft he would be a clear-cut number 1 overall pick.
I heard that as well,
and I think Jaden would be as well. He definitely has his flaws, which seem to be like he can't do the simple stuff, which seems to be more fixable than like a lot of other problems that quarterbacks have.
Yes.
It's obviously not a problem you want to have because you want to get the simple stuff done, but I feel like that's one of those skills that you learn after sitting a season with Jacoby Brissett. Like he'll teach you the easy stuff to do. Because that's what a backup quarterback has to do is the easy stuff. I love Marvin Harrison. Obviously, he's
the best guy.
Yeah, insane talent that we haven't seen ever.
Yep.
No, I love it. As long as the Cardinals are in on that, I'm sure they are.
That was my question. Do you think my package was enough? I honestly thought the Duggar piece was pretty big.
Yeah, I think it is. He's a good young player. I mean, maybe you'd maybe have to add on like a 4th or something, like a 5th, which I don't care about that. No, I think it is enough. It's just so sad how terrible the Cardinals organization is. They've been tanking for year after year, and they have a top 5 pick, and it seems like reasonable that they would accept a trade back to draft no one, really.
Right, that's the thing.
Yeah, which, again, like it's not crazy, but...
that's why I added they're getting a starter. They're getting a defensive starter, so that's like their sort of mentality. It's like, well, we we get a bunch of picks and we get a starter. Maybe that's enough. We don't have to take a flyer on a guy. It would be
Right.
Marvin.
They would get two. Like if Marvin Harrison's off the table, you would either have to take another wide receiver really high, an offensive tackle,
exactly,
or you could get 2 picks in the top 35 this year, a proven starter who's young, and like a first round pick next year. Like it's not. That seems like a great offer if I were the Cardinals.
Right. All right, that's great.
I love that. So you're out on JJ McCarthy? Not out, obviously. I'm not saying out, but
I'm not out. But it's like it seems I went a lot of different ways last week, and it just seems like a what are we doing type of thing. Right. Like Drake May's physical tools are insane. Like there's nothing like the bad stuff about Drake May is that again, like we're gonna have to reel him in a little bit and teach him some things. But like everyone who talks about this guy is like, oh my God, like it's Drake May. Are you serious? And then where JJ, it's a lot of vibe and mystique and aura and what he could be. And obviously I'm all in on that in a vacuum.
Me too, but that's also Trey Lance talk kind of.
Exactly, of course. And Zach Wilson talk. And again, they're different college backgrounds. That's why I believe in JJ a little more. But just if you're comparing it to Drake May, it's like, why? Let's just take Drake May. Like let's not be dumb. Let's not be dumb. That being said, welcome to the 5th pick that the Chargers have, which I honestly do believe they will trade this pick just because of what Harbaugh has been sort of bloviating about. And I think the perfect candidate to take this pick is the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings trade their first round pick, the 11, and their first round pick. They have 2 first round picks, so they trade them both. They're the 11 overall and the 23rd overall. And I threw in a 2025 third as well for the Chargers' 5th overall pick. So the Chargers get 2 first round picks and next year's third for the 5th overall. And the Vikings select JJ McCarthy at 5.
Okay. So 3 QBs in the top 5. 4, excuse me.
4 in the top 5. Yep.
4 QBs in the top 5. I mean the way talks have been going, it doesn't seem crazy. I'd say I feel like one quarterback is going to drop.
I think so too.
What it is, it just maybe it's just because the last year stuff with Penix, not Penix, excuse me. What's his name?
Will Levis.
Will Levis, yeah. No, he's on the Titans. My bad.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm thinking that, just recency bias, but that wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what happens, and that seems like a match up that's been rumored to be happening in the media. So
yeah,
I could see that.
It's a great situation for him. It'd be a great situation for him. Then we go 6. I got the Giants taking Malik Neighbors. It's a very popular pick, but it just makes sense. Yeah. Like he might be the, just similarly to the Jaden and Drake conversation, like he's clear-cut number 1 receiver in most drafts. He just happens to be behind Marv. And the Giants are so thin at wide receiver. So a lot of OBJ comparisons with him.
A lot of what comparisons?
OBJ comparisons. And I don't know if that's just the LSU going to the Giants thing, but a lot of people say like OBJ, but bigger. So.
Okay. Yeah. OBJ's not too small either. That's got to be the pick that that is wrong because everyone has it. It's like the upset. It's like New Mexico State over Clemson. Yeah. That will be the Giants will end up trading up to like the 3rd pick and take Marv or something like that.
Yeah, right. Something crazy. Yeah, I agree.
But that's not crazy. He's supposed to be like some people are saying he's like even better than Marvin Harrison, which is not crazy.
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, again, this draft is loaded on offense. It's nuts. The Titans, I have them going Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. Clear. People are saying this guy's like a Hall of Famer already. You know what I mean?
Know.
So it's like
I'm trying to figure out if this is just draft type saying all these guys, because every year obviously people get compared to really good players and Hall of Famers and stuff. But I'm trying to decide if this year's draft is insane or if it's just the draft type. Because last year everyone was hyped up. And then it ended up being, after a year, like not the best draft. I don't know if this year, like if it's just insane, if everyone's just going to be nasty.
Yeah. I think the thought process is a little bit like what tends to happen. Like the offensive line prospects that tend to be like, oh, you can't miss on this guy, usually don't miss. Like the Zach Martins, like Tyler Lindenbaum, things like that. Like they are usually good. Similarly with wide receivers, like usually the wide receivers are just good. Quarterbacks are like way more like 50-50. So maybe that's the mentality there. But yeah, I agree. I've been hearing a lot of like, oh yeah, this guy's like going to be a 15-year starter.
Yeah. I have a quick question. I don't want to keep interrupting your draft. It might be a long question. What, like, because someone will be a bust out of the top 7 picks. Who do you think is most likely? I have my answer already. I was just wondering who you think is most likely.
So out of the guys I just listed off, who's the most likely to be a bust?
If that were the draft, who would be the bust? Because someone is going to flop.
I would say JJ McCarthy.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
I would say, I mean, it's just going on. Like he just didn't do much in college. Like we kind of played the game of like, what's the most likely? Like picture the outcome, and be like, oh, could that happen? Like picture JJ McCarthy coming in for Sam Darnold and like not doing good at all. Like,
yeah, I can't see his face. This sounds really mean. I can't see his face raising the Lombardi Trophy.
JJ?
Yeah,
it's crazy because I vividly can. I vividly
okay.
can. Yeah,
okay.
Vividly can.
My answer, which is unfortunate, and it's crazy because I am so in on this guy. I mean, Drake May, and whoever the Patriots draft, if they draft the quarterback,
yeah,
out of the top 3 teams at least, we have the worst offensive weapons. We have a new coaching staff. Like, we don't have the best setup. We have a good defense, but like Caleb Williams is going to be on a loaded Bears team. Like the Commanders have some good offensive minds down there, and like Terry McLaurin, a pretty good wide receiver room, but we have nothing for this quarterback who's coming in here.
Well, so we'll have Marv.
If we're playing it by the like the teams in shambles game, like the Panthers thing, we're number 1 likely to draft the bust.
Yep.
But continue on. I'm sorry. I just like
that's fair. That's fair. No, really, I mean, the Patriots really are. If you're just going by odds, there's no structure there. The thing about Drake May is like we have the Browns. Could be any of them. The Browns coach worked with Flacco really well. Big, strong guy, big arm. Drake May, big, strong guy, big arm. Kind of what I'm thinking there. So, moving along, I got the Falcons at 8, taking Dallas Turner. I think he's just the best edge rusher in the draft, and I feel like the Falcons have gone kind of heavy with offense and all that. Now, time to fill that role on the defensive end. And I just think Turner's better than Verse, who I have going next. I didn't watch that much of Verse. I've just watched people talk about Jared Verse out of Florida State, defensive end, going to the Bears at 9. Originally, I would have the Bears taking a wide out, but since they've done so much this offseason in terms of acquiring wide receivers and weapons and running backs, I think, they get this guy, Jared Verse, who's a lot of people really like on the defensive end. Pair him up with Montez Sweat. You got a good little thing going all of a sudden on that D line.
I like that.
Jets at 10. I thought a lot of different things here, but I landed on Olu Fashanu out of Penn State, the left tackle. Again, I don't know that much about him. I just know that people really like him. They also like the other tackle. It's like this guy, Fashanu, Alt, and the other guy, I want to say he's out of Oregon State. He has a long name. I forget. Apologies. But I basically went with the mentality of like, okay, we got enough. We just need to keep Aaron healthy. This guy's an absolute stud. Left tackle, probably replacing a Mekhi Becton. Draft Fashanu. Sure up that offensive line. Sign of good faith to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Now 11. The Chargers now have this pick because of trading back with Minnesota. I have them taking Rome Odunze out of Washington, which I'm pretty pumped about that pick. That'll be really fun. And again, it seems likely that he'll fall there. And again, people fucking love Rome Odunze. The Chargers need a wide receiver. They just just got rid of two expensive wide receivers. They now get a cheap wide receiver who I think is going to be really, really good. Herbert gets a new weapon. I think that's a move there. I could also be like inclined to have a lot there at that position just because of Harbaugh. Like, wouldn't be shocked if he goes like tackle with the other kid from Oregon State or something like that, just because he loves that hard-nosed type of brand of football.
Yeah, little Brock Bowers action.
Yeah, even a tight end, something like that. But I just pick like, hey, Rome Odunze is still on the board at 11. Then I have 12. Oh yeah, you go.
No, I just don't know how to feel about the Chargers. I think I said this a couple episodes ago. I just have no idea where they're going to be at in my head. It just doesn't make sense to me right now, but I think it will start to materialize as the offseason progresses. Yeah. But yeah, take a good wide receiver. You have a good quarterback. See what happens.
Yeah, seems like that's probably the move. 12, I have the Broncos taking Bo Nix out of Oregon, quarterback. I just don't think Sean Payton can like function without a quarterback. Like he needs his guy. he needs a quarterback. Right now, it's Jarrett Stidham in that building. So
Mhm.
I think he takes Bo Nix, and I mean, I think you could talk yourself into some Breeze similarities. Like, he's pretty accurate with it. He's a 5-year starter. Is he a 6-year starter? He's at least a 5-year
Yeah, I think
starter.
he got hurt for a whole year. I think he redshirted and then had a COVID year. So I don't know if
Okay,
those
right.
are starting years, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, a lot of snaps experience in college. He's a guy where you're like, you could probably put him in week 1 and it might not be as catastrophic as a Drake May or something like
Mhm.
that, just because he's now obviously the ceiling in theory is much lower. But again, in terms of situation, you get him with Sean Payton. I feel like that's a pretty great situation for Bo Nix. And
Yeah,
that is my mock draft.
I like it. I actually love it. I think though that is realistic. Other than probably the Patriots trading up to 4, but it's not the craziest thing that's ever happened. I like all those picks. I think it's would be a good draft if that happened the way it did,
Oh, yeah.
and would be
Oh,
have
yeah.
some fun storylines. So I think that's a great first edition, Matt.
Cool. Thank you.